This is a presentation on current events of the Republic of Iraq. As discussed in my original case study, the Republic of Iraq was proclaimed as a republic in 1958, but the country was ruled by dictators and didn't begin to function as a republic until the capture of Saddam Hussein in 2003. In recent times, Iraq has continued to struggle to establish themselves as a nation. In early 2014, ISIS attacked, seized, and held strategic areas of the country. ISIS occupation and control remained in many areas of Iraq until late 2017 when an organized government offensive drove them out. This presentation will discuss 3 significant events that have happened since the beginning of 2018. $45 billion fight. The years of recent violence between the Iraqi people and members of the Islamic State have left the country in disarray. Although the Iraqi government declared victory over ISIS late in 2017, 2018 has been riddled with deadly attacks from the allegedly defeated group. The reality is that ISIS has already done an unmeasurable amount of damage to the region and is likely to continue doing so. A February Wall Street Journal article quantifies the damage from the more than 3-year war at $45 billion and also estimates that it would cost nearly $90 billion to fully rebuild and restore the particularly badly damaged areas in the north and west. This is important and impacts many countries in the region because Iraq is seeking $100 billion in foreign investment. Iraq is emerging from a devastating period of violence and conflict, and the eyes of the world are on this young democracy. Sadr's ascension. Iraq's parliamentary elections took place in May. The election results have had long-reaching and significant impacts on the Gulf region as a whole. The individuals who stand the most to gain personally from the elections are Muqtada al-Sadr, a populist cleric who shocked everyone with this election victory, and the current Prime Minister Haider al-Abadi. Muqtada al-Sadr ran on an anti-American and anti-Iranian sentiment, and as well as an anti-corruption platform. And these are the 3 factors that are said to be the biggest contributors to him winning the election. Low voter turnout due to a lack of confidence in the current government benefited Muqtada al-Sadr as well. Prime Minister al-Abadi benefited from the election results because although his coalition did not fare well in the elections, they actually finished third. He was ultimately endorsed by Muqtada al-Sadr. Moving along to the recount, the parliamentary elections that sprung al-Sadr to power were marred with questions of legitimacy, primarily because the use and validity of electronic counting equipment was brought into question. It was equipment that had previously it had never been used in Iraq. In an attempt to restore legitimacy to the electoral process, Parliament passed a law in June demanding a physical recount of more than 12 million votes. This is significant because the recount directly impacts how soon Muqtada al-Sadr can try to form a government, and it continues to bring more scrutiny to a government that's already swirling with questions regarding corruption and ethics and legitimacy. And all of these things moving into protests across the country. Protests have erupted across Iraq during the entire month of July. The sometimes violent gatherings began in the southern province of Basra, and protesters are making well known their dissatisfaction with poor living conditions, lack of power and air condition during one of the hottest periods of the year, the questionable national elections paired with corruption, high unemployment rate, and overall lack of safety. These protests are significant because the Iraqi government has had to use military and police forces to enforce order. Iraq is an extremely volatile country right now, and hopefully some stability will be brought to the country soon. The current situation of Iraq can be compared to the current climate of Nigeria that we recently learned about. Both countries are being crippled by corruption, and physical security remains an ongoing issue for both as well.